Okay, for high school math teachers, I think this is a pretty typical setup. We've got our school-issued MacBook Air and our school-issued iPad. All right. What I've done before I started here was I had my school-issued MacBook Air uh, on my Apple account. That's my normal, Apple ID that I use for school, and I have the same for my iPad that's issued by the school. All right. And on my iPad, to show you what apps are open, I'm double tapping here. I'm in the Google Meet, and I have got a lesson that I'm using Explain Everything for. All right. So then I'm also sharing my screen with this iPad so that the kids can see what I'm writing. So there I am. And let's say that I decide to take the next step on this problem and say, okay, everybody, I'm going to divide by something. Then obviously that appears on this screen as well. And then it also ends up appearing over on the students at home on their iPad as they're following along. So this white iPad represents the student who's following along at home. Okay. So this is the thing that I think is kind of cool. If I want to, I can open a Jamboard, all right, and say, all right, Jimmy, I want you to help me out with this one. So I go in here to that little triple dot down there, and I go up to open a jam, and then start a new whiteboard. Then that whiteboard pops up here, and I can say, all right, Jimmy, I'd like you to try this one, and I'm going to set it up. And so I go up in here into the pens, and I pull up a red pen. Pro tip, because that the kids can usually only write in black. So I'll write this out as 2x to the 1/2. Now you might be thinking, oh, that is so clunky. You are correct, it is. And I have a fix for that in a second here. Equals 32. Now that's so clunky that I probably wouldn't actually use it in class. But Jimmy can see that at home if Jimmy goes in. And when I did this, there was a pop-up that appeared on the screen for a second. But I'm going to go show you where he'd find that, because he wasn't paying attention, of course. He goes to in-call messages. And, oh, Mr. Server shared a jam file. I guess I better open that. All right, so he opens that. And now he can see, what I've written here on my Mac, Mac Air, and he can see that at home. And so now he can follow along by going up and selecting the pen, and he's got an Apple Pencil at home. So he's going to divide both sides by 2. And the cool part is that then I can see that that's what he did. Okay, now I think this would be a great way for me to really understand what Jimmy's trying to tell me. And then I can go back to saying, oh, so you'd say now we're going to cross off the 32 divided by 2 and make that a 16 equals 16. And again, I find this so painfully slow to do with my finger on the trackpad that I have a solution. So I'm going to connect my school-issued MacBook Air. As long as they have the same Apple ID, then it'll come up with my Minnetonka-issued iPad. And that I just opened something called Sidecar. You see a little tremor in the force there. And look, my iPad has now got the Sidecar open. If you double tap here, you'll be able to see Sidecar is like another app that's running. But I'm still in the Google Meet, and I am still projecting my screen so the kids can see what I'm writing. But now it's got Sidecar open. So now if I go up here and touch Sidecar, in Sidecar, the cool thing is if I want to drag this over, I can grab it, and the iPad acts kind of like a second screen, but it's way better than an average second screen. Grabbing it kind of to the left is a smart idea. And when I drag it over here, you can see it appear. The cool part is that this is now Apple Pencil friendly, so that if I want to write in the sidecar, I can use my Apple Pencil. So over here, instead of having to laboriously write it, I can just go x to the 1/2 equals 16. And now we just need to solve it from there. Jimmy, what should I do next? Meanwhile, Jimmy sees that that's what I did. And Jimmy can take over and go a little further. One thing I'm trying to figure out how this works is how to scroll it down the page, but I'm sure there's a way to do that. And of course, Jimmy realizes, oh, x has got to be 4. And maybe you have to talk him through how it can't actually be -4. All right, so, and then I can see that on my main computer and over here on the sidecar. So, thought that was kind of cool.